All right. Shalom, shalom. With Hebrew Israelites back again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. And before we begin this lesson, we're going to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham
Ba'Hashem, Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Ba'Hashem,
Bahasham
Racha, Kodash.
Dash. All right. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone, who we learnt this truth from. They're the real prophets and the leaders of all Israel in these end times, as we've been saying time and time again. And it's becoming more and more clear that that is the case, man. Hence the reason why we're going into this lesson, man. So, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, right? We're not officially a part of their camp, but we learn strictly under their teachings because we believe wholeheartedly that they are the real prophets that was sent and that are leading us to the correct way to salvation, man. Okay, so you'd be wise to listen to everything they say, man. Okay, they've never been wrong, and they're not going to be wrong because the Lord has sent somebody. Out of all these camps, somebody is officially sent of the Lord. So it's becoming more and more clear who that is through the process of elimination. You know, we're gonna speak on this in this lesson, man. And Lord willing, you're edified. Shalom to you, Israelite sisters that are in order. Shalom to you, Israelites on the highways and hedges, giving up your body as a living sacrifice and making your calling and election sure. Shalom. And shalom to you, Israelites scattered abroad that may look like these other nations, man. So, if you look like a so called white man, Chinese man, or whatever, you could still be an Israelite because, people like to say that we say, with a misunderstanding, they like to say that we say that only black people can make it into heaven, and that ain't true, man. Okay, there are certain false prophets out there that are sowing confusion and say things like that. But this is why I say you need to cleave to the prophets that the Lord has sent, and you will know them by their fruits. Okay, now as of late, you've had two incidents in a row pop up. So it's very important that we bring this out, man, and show you, reveal to you what's going on and that certain men in this truth ain't right, man. And like I said, you'll know them by their fruits. You know what I mean? Now you got people popping up saying they're the most high. You got people saying they're not part of the Hebrew Israelism community anymore, right? Just bugged out, man. The Lord is sifting. This is sifting season, man. So it's important to stay humble, right? Because if you start becoming proud and puffed up, then hey, your spirit ain't right. And the Lord is gonna reject you, man. He's gonna allow Satan to sift you. Okay. So I got a few clips I want to play. And we're gonna, I won't bring it out just yet. Let me speak on it first. Basically, first clip I'm gonna play is by this guy, right? He sat in his car. What's his name? He used to go by the name Darash. I'm not sure what he calls his name now, but because I ain't followed this guy too closely, so I know he was out here saying that we was in a new covenant. He was hanging out with them. I am King David crew, the bugged out ex uh, servants because they're not servants, right? But he used to go by the name Darash. Now he's got a channel on YouTube called I Am God. The hell, man? That right there screams bug out. Who would call themselves and label their YouTube channel I Am God? But this first clip we're gonna play it explains it all, man. Because this guy actually thinks he's the most high. Or the son, or both. Who knows, man? This guy is all over the place. He's bugged out, he's gone. And you'll see clearly what we're talking about. Now, these are the same people that like to come up against Great Millstone, right? Everybody that ends up being bugged out, they all have a problem with Great Millstone because Great Millstone have the truth. And the Lord has put a reprobate spirit on them to reject the truth, man. Normally, when people get sifted, a clear sign of that is they'll start bucking up against Great Millstone, man. It It never fails. Never has it failed, man. So, you got to kind of look at things with a spiritual eye, look at things in a certain perspective to see what is going on spiritually, man. When these people are waxing worse, a clear sign that the person is becoming bugged out is they show signs of bucking up against the elders and the apostles, their spiritual parents, right? So the ones that taught them the truth, how you gonna buck up against them, man? Come on, man. It just, it screams bug out. But this guy sat in the car, right? This guy Darash that says he's the most high. He sat in the car smoking a black and mild for one. Right there lets you know that his fruits are wicked. If he's not even doing it secretly. He's just sat there on camera as if it's all good, man. As if men of the Lord are just allowed to sit there and chug on a black and mild down to the damn. And black and milds are long. They take a long time to smoke. I used to smoke them back in the day, man. But he's smoking it down to the plastic. I'll let you see it for yourself, man. We're gonna play this video and then we're gonna get into a few scriptures, man. All right. Let me share my screen real quick. Did you have anything you want to add before I play this?
No, you can go right ahead.
All right. Let me see. All right, check this out, man. It don't get more bugged out than this, man. People wax it worse. Check this out.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. How are y'all doing? It's your boy. I am the Son of Man. I am the truth. I am the way. I am the light. Walk ye in it. I am the visible and invisible power of God. Who am I? Who am I?
They told me that.
I'll tell you who I am. I'm Jesus Christ. I'm Adam. I'm Metatron. I'm creation. I'm formlessness. I'm God.
Man said he's Jesus Christ. He said he's Megatron. He's just through. That's what he is. He's through. He's a Decepticon. He ain't Megatron. He's a Decepticon, man.
So who am I? Man should ask himself. I am what I am. How would you feel if I told you everything you thought was true really wasn't? How would you feel if I told you the light was the darkness and the darkness was the light? Because that's the reality of this shit, bro. Keeping it 100. That is the reality of this shit. Man is his own creator. I'm just the original. Man is truth. Man is the way. Man is the light. Man is the darkness. For you are the Son of Man. I am you and you are me. We are each other. So I should tell you all the mysteries of God that the universe allow me to answer. I'm that guy that's going to do it for you. I always have been him. That's the truth. I am God. I'm the one who birthed the stars. I'm the one who created water, fire, air, earth. I'm the medicine for man in human form. Because I am man himself. So they ask who the Son of God is. He's shrouded in darkness, just my face. Because who's really watching for me to come back? Sometimes I don't even be watching for myself. Man needs to understand that's the nature of God.
Bro, check his black and mild is down to the plastic, man, and he's still chugging on it. And look at his fingernails, man. Look how dirty his fingernails. What? The Lord gonna come down here in the flesh, smoking a black and mild, looking high out his head, bugged out, talking about his Megatron, and with black fingernails, man. Through, you
Drunk
know,
too much wine, man. Drank strong drink, man. This guy is
this
delusional.
guy, he's on something, you know. Hey, the Lord put a demon on him, put a legion on him. This man's a reprobate. Okay, I've never had a run in with him. I don't know him like that, but you know, he claiming to be in the truth, and this is what he's pushing, man. You know, he's spitting in the Lord's face, putting the Lord to an open shame, man. You know, and it all starts when you start getting puffed up and proud. Then you wax. From then on, it happens every time. You'll wax worse and worse and worse till you get what you see here, man. And this guy will still have followers. I bet I bet this original video, I couldn't find his channel because his channel's called I Am God. And I looked for it and it just came up with all kind of crap. And I was scrolling and I couldn't find his channel. But I guarantee that this original video of his on his channel has probably loads of likes. Because people cleave to wickedness more than they cleave to the light, man. They'd rather believe a bug out like this than believe in what the apostles and the elders are teaching, the 100% truth, man. Because Jake is through out here, man. And the Lord only came for a remnant, and he blatantly ain't part of it. You know, the Lord ain't returned yet, so there's still chance to repent, but it ain't looking good for him, man. It ain't looking good, man.
God doesn't even watch for himself at times. For man is God, and that is the truth. I am the original creator, thought given form. That's why I know everything. Oh, man must understand. That in truth, perception is reality. That's it.
And what's up with them damn earrings, bro? Come on, man. Like, through. Jake, through out here, man.
Perception is reality. You are forming your own reality with your thoughts day by day. Which is why I need man to trust in me. Trust in me like you trust in yourself. Have faith, for the keys of the kingdom of heaven have been given to you. And I tell you the truth. I tell you that anyone with an imagination can do this. The old way does not work. The truth is, order leads to chaos on each side of the spectrum.
Man said order leads to chaos. What? And this guy has followers, man. You know? That's scary. That shows you, man, you gotta understand what you're involved in when you're walking this path, man. You can't be just following everybody out here, man. You gotta take heed of who you're learning from, man. Man said order brings chaos. What?
I got a quick
Just
precept.
like disorder.
Yeah, I got a
Slakia,
quick
you say something?
precept. If I got a quick precept.
All
If
right.
yeah, you just share my screen.
Let me share your screen 1 sec.
Yeah, so this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 4. It says, And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Now, this guy right here in this clip that my brother's playing is deceiving many, just like you mentioned about, you know, on his channel, he probably has people that still follow him, right? You know, Yahushua said, and it is speaking to those types of people to say, look, take heed that no man deceive you, right? Continue reading, verse 5 says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. speaking directly about this guy on this clip. Like he can't even, you know what I mean? Like just listening to this guy, it's just like, what the hell is he talking about? Like someone who ain't got the mindset to see that this guy's a bug out. Even people that ain't in the truth can see that this guy's a complete bug out, right? Them demons are on him hard,
Mm.
you know. Like you say,
Yeah.
he's wearing these earrings. Like I think I seen a reference to them in like Dragon Ball Z or something like that. You know what I
Mm.
mean? The anime where they got the earring is supposed to give him like, I don't know, more power or something like that. This guy's a
True,
complete
man.
nutcase, complete bug out.
Bro.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that out because Yahushua even said like, you know, um, be what do you say? Said take heed that no man deceive you. Right? Take heed, like bug outs like this don't deceive you. Right? He
Yeah,
says, "For many
God.
shall come in my name, saying I'm anointed." What's he saying? He's saying that he's the Son of Man. He's the original. He's God. You know what I mean? Like the guy's a freaking complete bug out. You know?
Bro, it's scary, man.
Yeah. So that's why we do these lessons to warn the people. Like, look, you gotta watch out for people like this, man. They're gonna come
Hmm.
saying that they're the anointed and shall deceive many.
Yeah.
You know?
Was there any more meat on that?
I mean, it goes into the wars and rumors of wars.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
nah, that's
yeah,
cool. Yeah, man. You know, let me just play the rest of the video. Ain't
yeah,
much left, and then we'll
yeah. I
we'll
just wanted
crack
to bring
on.
that point out quickly.
Yeah, but that's true, man. You know, many are coming, and he's one of them. You know, the scriptures say to watch out for people like that, man. Don't follow them. You know, but yeah, people they come into this truth and they're in it for entertainment or whatever their reason is, and it's the wrong reason, man. They're not in it in sincerity, and that's where people mess up, because the Lord weighs your heart. He knows your thoughts. He knows what you when you click on your, whether it be your phone camera or you're on TV, you're on YouTube going live. As soon as you hit that button and you're putting your message out there for the world, man, to see, right? You best believe the Lord sees what your intentions were when you press that button. Was it to edify genuinely, or was it just to scoff? Was it to compete with what the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone are teaching? Was you doing it to try and get girls? Was you doing it to try and get popularity, likes, build unto you, heap unto yourself disciples? You best be doing it for the right reason. Otherwise, you end up like this guy, without a doubt. Because a lot of people, they underestimate the Lord, man. They take him for a fool. They act like they're gonna do certain things, but they're not really thinking about why they're doing it. You know, and they're making the Lord out to be a fool, man. And the Lord will make an example out of you in front of all of Israel. Now this guy bugging out, black ass fingernails, smoking a black mile, talking about he's the most high. That's as bad as Nebuchadnezzar eating grass like a damn ox, man. Bugging out. And the Lord will do that to you, man. You know, dismiss you in a very ugly way, right? It's happened many a times, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the rest of this then, and then we'll crack on. Lord willing, you can hear it loud and clear.
Will also lead to chaos. God is chaos. Jesus is everything. I died on the cross for all y'all, constantly getting these experiences, constantly to understand man, to understand my own creation. And my creation hates me. That is the truth. But my creation hated me because I hated myself. Listen,
My man thinks he's deep, right? He said he died on a cross for all creation, and his creation hates him. And he said that he even hates himself. And now he's like putting his hands to his head, like this is beyond your intelligence. You ain't got access to this type of knowledge. The man's puffed up, and he's totally gone left. And if you can't see it, then you can go left with him, man. Okay, because the elect have a sound mind. They don't have a bugged out mind like this guy right here, man.
I'm telling you some shit you can't lose with. I'm telling you some shit you can't lose with. Listen, if I speak to the hearts of all men, I'm everywhere and nowhere, always, at once. Who am I? I have time in my pocket, and I take it out whenever I feel and whenever I please. I have the keys of David, and I discern which man is worthy. Who am I? I'm God. I'm the original. I determine which man makes it into the kingdom of heaven or not. For this is the truth, this is the way, this is the light. Walk in it. For I'll tell you the truth, of the new and of the old. The truth is there is no new or old. There's only creation. There's only formlessness given form. There's only God. There's only you. So no matter how much a man descends to heaven or descends down, that is the reality he will come to. I could tap into Satan at will. That's the truth. That's the truth in every man that you need to be honest about. Satan is always going to be a part of you. Your darkness will always be there. But in that darkness, just like this ring on my hand, there's a dark star that shines in the night. In the dark night of the soul, a man can still find light. This lack of order is extremely unacceptable, and I am about to absolutely exercise the fullest extent of my authority as God on earth. For I have given man the keys of David.
Yo, this guy look high as hell, man. He gotta be high as hell talking like that, saying he can tap into Satan. You already tapped into Satan. Satan has fully got you in his grasp, man. You know, just bugged out.
To unlock himself.
So that's it on that, right? Let's close that out. So you see what we're talking about, you know? The guy is totally reprobate. He's gone left, and anyone that follows him, you know, is just as bugged out as him and deserves to go down with him, man. So that scripture you said, you know, many shall come in my name, saying I am the anointed. You got this image right here, which shows a lot of the false prophets that are among us. So you got the Pope with the image of Caesar Borgia that they put up to deceive the world, right? And then you got Hotep over here with what they call Brother Polite, right? Now this guy, he's locked up because he came against the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, shooting at the Bible, calling it a holy Bible, right? Bugged the hell out. Now he's locked up because he was accusing Great Millstone of being pedophiles and raping little girls, right? Then he ended up going to prison. The Lord locked him up for raping little girls and exposed him as being a pedophile. Somebody that accused us of being a pedophile. The Lord made him a pedophile, man. So it's beautiful how, you know, everybody tries to come along upon against the Lord's anointed, end up getting jacked up out here, man. Right? You got down there this chief, General Yohana, right? Calls himself Commanding General Yohana. That's the leader of ISUPK, right? You know, they be spending time getting physically fit, going to the shooting range, and just putting a stain on the ministry, making this look like some kind of black militia, black power movement or whatever, like the next thing in Black Panthers or whatever, right? Total reprobate spirit they're trying to put on the truth. And you got people that, you know, they might have first heard of the Hebrew Israelites, and the first video they come across is a video of General Yohana and his crew, and they automatically think that that's what the truth's about. That's what we're about. That's what it means to be a Hebrew Israelite, right? Just, you know, the Lord ain't dealing with these people, but they have their particular role that they have to play. You got this guy right here, Bishop Nathaniel of IUIC. He's the leader. He's waxing worse and worse and worse, and we have yet to see what the Lord gonna do to him. You know, the man was damn near on his deathbed at one point. Apparently, you know, you got this guy right here, Comfy. He said he was the Holy Spirit. He said he was the God sent comforter, right? He said he was the Holy Spirit. That nigga, all I gotta say, that nigga dead, right? That nigga dead. You know, the Lord took him out, right? You got Joel Osteen, TD Jakes, swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed?
There's a few more people that could be added to that list as well, man.
Yeah, there's you know, this picture, obviously you can only fit so many people in it, but this don't cover them all. There's a lot of people, man, right? A lot of bug outs that aren't even on this. You know, Joel Osteen, um, Martin Luther King. You got all kind of people from Islam, Kanye West, Creflo Dollar, Billy Graham, uh, Baloo. This guy scoffing at the mark of the beast. So this guy scoffing at the mark of the beast. So yeah, man. But this is just a small example of how easy it is to be led astray. There's just so many things that are trying to cause the elect to get sifted, but the elect won't be sifted because they are the spirits that were created of the Lord that are predestined for salvation. They're gonna triumph through all the lies and deceptions, man. And that's the beauty of being a part of the elect, you know, which Lord willing we are. Let me show you another image here. So this is also, you got Bishop Nathaniel. You know, whether that's accidental, I don't know, but it is suspicious as hell that he's throwing up the same symbol as these Satanists. And this is an IUIC member in his music video throwing up the same thing. You got them dancing on checkerboard floors in their rap videos. A man in the truth shouldn't be out here making rap videos anyway, man. It's right to do something like that as a hobby, but if you're representing yourself, putting yourself on camera as a man of the Lord out here teaching, you shouldn't be out here making no damn music videos, man. They don't mix. It's not a good combination. And then you got Creflo Dollar throwing up the same thing, and he threw it up hard, like blatantly.
That's
So
Joel.
it's the devil horn symbol. What's that?
I said that was Joel Osteen.
Oh yeah, I said. Did I say Creflo
Yeah,
Dollar? Yeah,
yeah.
Joel Osteen. That's what I meant. It's like yeah, but yeah, man. You know, hey, scriptures say you'll know them by their fruits. Let me quickly pull that up real quick. Actually, that's my first precept. Know them fruits. Yeah, 16. Let's start up a bit. Let's go back. There's loads of meat on this. Let's start at 13. All right, so this is Matthew 7 and 13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate. Straight meaning a path of difficulty, not straight as in a straight line. Straight gate means the hard gate, right? The hard, you got to come in this truth the hard way, you know? It says, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. You know, when people out here wanting to do their own thing, right? That's going to lead you to destruction, man. The Lord set up elders and apostles and leaders that are to, you know, guide the sheep. The Lord set up shepherds to guide the sheep the correct way, man. Otherwise, if you out here trying to, you know, follow your own way, it's going to lead to destruction, man. That's the wide gate. Okay, it says, and many there be which go thereat, right? So there's more 2/3 than there is of a 1/3, right? 2/3 of ones that are predestined for destruction. It says Matthew This is Matthew 7 and 14. It says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. It says, beware of false prophets. Matthew 7 and 15. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing. So they come like they're Hebrew Israelite, which Hebrew Israelite is a nationality, you know. We are, we're Hebrew Israelites by default, but they come to you representing, the teachers or the prophets, right? So they come to you in prophets' clothing, right? Come to you like they have your best interests at heart, like they're the shepherds leading you the right way. Follow me, they say, right? It says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. See? So you don't know what's going on in a man's head. Okay? That's why it's important to read for yourself and pray for the spirit of discernment, man. Pray that the Lord has the Holy Spirit upon you to recognize when you're being led astray. Because these people that follow these false prophets, they genuinely believe that they're being led in the right direction. They go hard for Bishop Nate and IUIC. You can't say nothing about Bishop Nate, even though when he's blatantly off and blatantly being wicked, you know, and it's like we try to tell people and expose where he's going off, and they say that we're hating our brother, man, because they can't recognize the truth. Okay, just like they couldn't recognize Yahweh Shai when he was walking on earth, man. They didn't recognize him as the son of the Most High. They said free Barabbas. They're coming in that free Barabbas spirit. So it says, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly are they ravening wolves. So these people ain't right inside, man. They don't have good intentions. They have ill intentions, but the Lord knows all of that. That's why, eventually they'll get exposed and sifted. So it says here, and this is, something you need to highlight, Matthew 7 and 16, ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? See? You'll know them by their fruits, man. If they ain't teaching sound doctrine, talking about I'm God and all that, right? Smoking a black and mild, then you stay far away from people like that. Run, you know? It says, Matthew 7 and 17, even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. See? So somebody that's leading you astray, man, they gonna be teaching you things that are just blatantly off, man. And there's been many examples of that, especially when they try to slander Great Millstone, calling them grapists. Has anybody ever been convicted of grape in Great Millstone? No. That's slander, man. That's wickedness. That's evil fruit. It says a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. See? Because the thing is that people that follow these false prophets, they can't discern when somebody is bringing forth wicked fruit because they're wicked themselves. Because they genuinely think that because they're out on their highways and hedges teaching in their purple garments or whatever the case may be, their fringes on and all that, they think that that's a man of the Lord by default. That ain't the case, man. Many are called, few are chosen. You got to understand this. Every tree, right? Matthew 7 and 19, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. See? So eventually you're gonna be out of here, and then you're gonna be reserved for them nukes. That nuclear holocaust is coming, man. It says, wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. And that's the point. You got to watch these people that you're learning from closely, and you got to understand who you're being taught by. Now this is the book of First Timothy 4 and 1. It says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times which we're living in now, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. See? You got this bug out calling himself the Most High, calling himself the Son, saying he died on the cross for us and the world don't recognize him and all of this, man, all this madness, trying to sound like he's powerful and deep, trying to make some kind of name for himself. I don't know what that, I don't know what his intentions are, man, but the guy is clearly gone, you know. So he's one of the ones that have followed, took heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, man, because he's going into all kinds of weird books and stuff, which we're gonna get into that in a bit, right? And it'll bug you out, you know. The scriptures don't need nothing else to validate that it's true. None shall want a mate, you know. The scriptures say so. You diving into all these other books, the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jasher and all these bugged out books, you're gonna end up getting bugged out yourself, man. Right? You're looking into whether the Earth's flat and all that. If you're curious, hey, feel free, but don't be bringing that thing into the truth. You know what I mean? And don't it ain't got nothing to do with salvation. So you just what I mean. Don't be concerning yourselves in matters that aren't important, man. Okay. What does it matter if people know what the shape of the Earth is? That's just an example. Because there's a lot of seducing spirits out there that are gonna keep you, off. They're gonna pull you off track. You got to keep your eyes single, man. Okay. So that you don't get sifted, right? Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. So that's what they do when they end up getting bugged out and following these bugged out doctrines. Because that guy, what's his name, Darash, the one that was smoking the black and mild in the car, he used to think that well, he still does, I'm sure, but he thought that we were in the new covenant when the scriptures are very plain when they say that we're not in the new covenant, man. The new covenant is when we aren't teaching our brother anymore, saying know the Lord, right? That hasn't happened yet. We're still out here teaching because Jake ain't saved yet. Jake ain't delivered from. We ain't changed into our new bodies yet. The Lord said he'll write his laws in our inward parts. That's when we get changed in the twinkling of an eye, like scriptures say. That's when we're officially in the new covenant, man. Okay. So, if it don't line up with scripture, you got to flee from these people, man. Mark them that cause divisions, right? Let's actually bring that out. That's a good one. I forgot about that. Mark them divisions, right? That's Romans 16. It's the book of Romans 16 and 17. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, right? Because the Lord is speaking to the elect, the only ones he cares about, the brethren, the ones that do the will of the Lord, right? That's our brethren. It says, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. So when we mark them, we bring out lessons on them and show you, we're basically pointing the finger on, we're putting a spotlight on them. That's what it means by mark them. It's a spiritual mark, which means to watch over them or, watch them, mark them. I think it's Thawa is the word for that, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? So it's a different type of mark. It's not like the physical mark, the charagma. Okay, when you go into the meaning of this word, I believe it's Thawa, which means to to watch them closely. Okay, put the spotlight on them, warn others about them, and avoid them. Right. So it says, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, meaning the 100% truth. If they ain't teaching according to sound doctrine and they ain't taking correction and repenting of their ignorance, because sometimes someone can teach something that ain't quite right, out of ignorance or just because they're a little bit unlearned or whatever the case may be. But if you've tried to correct them and they ain't taking correction, then that nigga is proud. And you gotta mark a man like that. Okay? If they're not
Yeah,
willing
just
to change. Salakia.
yeah, Salakia. I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, the word that I've got for the mark in Romans 16 and 17 is scopeo.
Oh, Scopeo, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
forgot. Because it's
want to
kind of like
make that
scope.
clear.
It's kind of like putting a scope on them,
Yeah,
telescope
yeah,
to watch them. Scopeo, that's right. Yeah. So Y is the mark of exemption
yeah.
um in the Hebrew. That's right. So it's scopeo. See, that's why it's important to go into the meaning of words. The water for that, because when you go into the meaning of words, it gives you a better understanding as to what that precept's talking about. Just like when you try to cut a Christian with John 3:16 and showing them that that world doesn't mean the whole world, right? It's the same with Mark. So you got to mark them, which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned. And it says, and avoid them, because two can't walk together except they be agreed, man. So when you see someone bugging out, teaching false doctrine, and they can't take correction, hey, flee from that man. Wipe the dust off your feet with that guy. He's through, unless he repents, which a proud man more than likely ain't gonna repent, man. That's a miracle if they do. I think that's it on that. Nah. Here we go. Next scripture, Romans 16 and 18. It says, "For they that are such serve not our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ." It says, "but their own belly." Right. So they got their own motive why they want to teach the word. Right. Maybe to make themselves look powerful or intelligent, or to get some kind of notoriety in this world that they never had before they came in the truth. Now they got a platform. It goes to their head, man, because they want this to be their kingdom. They want their consolation here, man, rather than storing up their treasures in heaven. Rather than caring about what's doing the Lord's work the correct way, and getting fame and praise in the kingdom, man. That's when we get our glory. Right now, it's time to work in sincerity, man. So it says, and by good words and fair speeches, deceive the hearts of the simple. Right? You got to be an idiot, a simple ass nigga, to follow these idiots, man, telling you that they're the Lord, man, and that they died on a cross. Come on, man. And this guy actually has followers. How? You know? But yet they'll watch a video by Great Millstone rebuking his actions, and then we're the bad guy. You know, the ones that the ones that are in the right spirit. All of a sudden, they're the bad guy. You're hating on your brother. That's why Jake got to go, man. 2/3 of Israel are prophesied to be destroyed, and as we get further along into this walk, man, you can see exactly why this has to be, man. This is the book of Second Peter, chapter 2, and verse 1. It says, "But there were false prophets among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you." See? So, this ain't talking about the olden days. Some people like to say the Bible days. No, this still stands today, man. There are false teachers among us. You got this Hebrew Israelite movement that's popped up, as people like to call it, a movement and all that, right? Which really is the work of the Lord. But now you got these Hebrew Israelites popping up everywhere, teaching and coming into the knowledge of who they are. And a lot of them ain't, they don't receive it correctly. They receive it in a way that makes them proud and puffed up, man. People be new in this truth, don't know nothing, and then put on a garment and act like they're better. They know more than the elders and the apostles who they learned from, man. That's just wickedness, right? false teachers, man, and they're among us right now, calling themselves Hebrew Israelites. It says, who privily, right, privately, shall bring in damnable heresies, right, teaching you that there's a place called hell, for example. That's a damnable heresy, right? It says, even denying the Lord that brought them. All right, so you got some people that's Old Testament only that deny Yahweh. They say, "Oh, I don't care if he's. It don't matter if he's black or white." They say there ain't no son of God and all that, right? When the scriptures are very clear when they explain, that the son exists. He's mentioned in the Old Testament in many scriptures, right? Kiss the son lest he be angry. Who's that talking about? I broke that down. I cut the hell out of this guy, puffed up on knowledge on Facebook once, right? And then he got quiet for a bit because he was so quick on the keyboard until I bust out that precept, cut the shit out of him. Then he got quiet. He come back hours later saying that was talking about his followers. What? You just, Jake is gone out here, man. You listen. There's only a few that are gonna be saved, a remnant. Many are called, few are chosen. So many people are called into the knowledge they're an Israelite, but only a few out of them are chosen, man. It don't matter if they say shalom, shalom, and they got the head wrap or they got their fringes on it. That's all gimmicks. That don't mean nothing. Okay, you can't see what's going on in the mind of a man that claims to be in this truth, man. But the Lord sees. It says, even denying the Lord that brought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction, like that bug out talking about he's the Most High. He's through out here, you know, destroyed, man. And he's ultimately going to be destroyed by them nukes lest he repents. It says, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. So what you'll find is that, Great Millstone have the 100% truth, but they'll be evil spoken of. They'll call us rapists, pedophiles, you know, they say we're haters and we're evil, we're guile, malice. They say all kinds of things about us, and they all gang up on us, right? That have the 100% truth because they really don't understand that they're ganging up on the Lord, man. You know, servant is not greater than his master. When they persecuted the Lord, and even our own people came up against the Lord that was trying to, deliver them or die for them, right? They rejected him, man. And it's the same thing happening amongst the Hebrew Israelites in these end times. You got just wicked men among us, man. So many are following them. I want to quickly go back because in this scripture it talks about who shall privily bring in damnable heresies. Let me just quickly see what this word heresies means, right? It says a heresy is defined as a belief. Hold on one second. A belief or a theory that significantly deviates from established beliefs, particularly in a religious context. In Christianity, heresies are doctrines considered false by one or more denominations, leading to divisions within the faith. Right? So a heresy is basically false teachings, right? It says the Catholic Church distinguishes between material heresy, which occurs without fault, da 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 da, da 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 da. Yeah, whatever. But the point is, it's a belief or a theory that significantly deviates from the truth, basically, right? That's what a heresy is. So these people are bringing in damnable heresies, right? Denying the Lord that brought them. Now, I want to show you another quick precept in the book of First Corinthians 11 and 19, because all these things are happening because it's the Lord's movie at the end of the day. The Lord has certain many set up to be uh, his sifters, so to speak, right? Because the Lord has certain men out here that he wants to deceive people. because the Lord don't want everybody. So it says in verse in First Corinthians 11:19, it says, "For there must be also heresies among you." So there must be false teachers amongst us teaching false doctrines. It says that they which are approved, right, the ones that have the 100% truth, may be made manifest among you, right? It's just that a lot of people, when they continue to follow these bug outs after they've been exposed by the ones that have the 100% truth, right? It's because, they belong among the 2/3 and they don't even know it. They genuinely think that they're following the right people, man, because they're just wicked. The Lord don't want everybody, man. You got to understand the elect are that fine gold. Fine gold has to be sifted many times, you know, dirt has to be sifted many times to get that fine gold, man. When you're out here, looking for gold, there's a certain process that happens for you to get that fine gold, man. And that's what the Lord is using these false prophets and these heresies for, man. You know, because his scriptures say in Job 12:16, it says, "With him," meaning Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, it says, "With him is strength, power, right, and wisdom." Okay, so a lot of people, they can't even perceive the idea of the Lord setting up false camps to sift men that he don't want. Their mind don't go that far, right? They think that everybody in this truth can come together in unity, make a unity camp, and we should all get along. And just you got your beliefs, and you believe the mark of the beast is sin, or sleeping with white women. That's cool. We should all get along, not hate each other, and try to come to some sort of a resolution when the scriptures clearly say two cannot walk together except they be agreed, man. Mark them which cause divisions and avoid them, right? So if you don't follow exactly what the scriptures say, you're gonna get bugged out here, man. The truth is our protection. So it says, "With him is strength and wisdom." It says, "The deceived and the deceiver are his." So the Lord is they're all a part of the Lord's movie, man. The ones deceiving and the ones being deceived. Hey, the Lord is in control of all of that. You understand? Because he has strength and wisdom that we can't understand. It's deep. The Lord has his purpose for setting up people that are teaching damnable heresies, man. Right? Did you have anything you want to bring out? Or
I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Uh,
yeah,
those precepts that you brought out, those scriptures, they're fire, man. They're pretty much on point. There's no sort of arguing with that. But like it's correct. You gotta be careful with what you're exposed to. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause you got some wild people out there, man.
yeah,
The
man.
Lord, the Lord, like warned us of these people. You just gotta be mindful, but let the
Yeah,
Spirit guide you, man, and show you the truth, right?
yeah, yeah.
And
Which
yeah, it's lucky. I was gonna say you can't be out here faking the funk.
that's it. Because you can only fake for so long, and eventually the truth is going to come out.
That's right.
You know. Let me There was a scripture I was going to bring out, but it's slipped my mind now. But that goes into what you just said, though. It goes into Luke 8:17. It says, "For that nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest." Right? To be made manifest. Let's just pull. I'm just curious as to what it's going to say. Uh, Manifest meaning. Clear. Okay, manifest means clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Right? So basically that's what it means. It says be evidence of, or prove, show, demonstrate. become apparent through the appearance of symptoms. Obvious, you got similar words. It says obvious, clear, plain, apparent. You get the idea, right? But it says nothing is secret that shall not be made clear, made plain, brought out. It says neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. See, so if you have secret motives as to why you want to teach the word, for instance, this guy that called himself Chief Priest Alazar, we're going to get into him in a second because back to back, the Lord is exposing people, man. You just had this bug out, the Rush, smoking a black and mild with his dirty fingertips down to the damn plastics, talking about he's the Lord, right? We just spoke on him, and then as soon as brothers started doing lessons and catching wind on that, here comes Alazar, man, with some more bugged out madness, man. Because that man's a Decepticon. He don't know what he wants to be. He wants to be a damn Hebrew and a Hellcat. He wants to be Hoover Crip. Man wants to be a counselor. What's he gonna transform into next? Man out here, Pegatron turned into Pegatron. He just he just turned it. He just wants to be everybody, man. He ain't right. But we're gonna get into him and his latest madness in just a moment, man. But nothing is secret that ain't gonna become manifest, man. It's all gonna come out eventually. You can't fake the funk, but for so long, and the ones that have the truth, you ain't pulling the wool over their eyes, man. They're gonna know it. They're gonna know when a man ain't right, when a man's off in the spirit. It's a spiritual thing. We can sense it. It's like a very strong intuition, so to speak, right? You could just see that I gotta keep my eye on that one. Something ain't quite right. And normally it turns out to be true, man. Certain red flags, especially when it comes to the doctrine, that kind of show you that this guy ain't right. It turns out to be right, man. But yeah, what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and play. I want to play this real quick because this guy Darash, he was into all kinds of books, and it was brought out in this lesson here that brother did.
Aleister Crowley, and I've said this enough so I should be able to get it right, but I'm paraphrasing here. He goes, magic, which of course he spelled with a CK, is the
The magic are condemned by God, and why we're only supposed to seek power from God, and that's when we're submitted to His will, not our will. To His will, not our will.
I think you're on mute. Yeah, you're on mute.
Oh yeah. Salakia. The water for that. So as you see here in the very top of the screen, right, it says "I am God," which is that channel of that bug out Darash that used to go by Darash that was sitting there smoking that black and mild down to the damn plastic, right? And this is what he says. This is a quote from him. He wrote on his, I guess, his YouTube. If you want to find the heavenly language, leaving the body, etc., up to you, Emma Effers, to research at this point. And then he's got pictures of these books, these bugged out books called the Enochian, the Enochian Workbook. What? Madness. Now take a good look at this image. Let me see if I can get that bottom bit to disappear. Anyway, it won't disappear. But anyway, you see right here, it looks like some kind of Baphomet madness. You got this book in the middle, some kind of white angel, white fairy or something. It's weird, man. But this is yeah, this is what this guy's telling you to read, right? So you can be bugged out like him and join him in his madness, right? This is why the Lord says, man, let's bring it out real quick. Drop this, right? What is this? Get rid of that. I think I've lost it. I might have closed it out. 1 second. Let me bear with me, Akim. Ecclesiastes. I don't even know if I had it. Yeah, I think I did, but 1 second. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. And this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. It says, and further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books, there is no end. See? So, yeah, there's no end, man. You out here trying to learn from all these other books. You know what I mean? There's you're just gonna bug yourself out, basically, is what this is saying, right? It says, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. So when you're out here looking into all these bugged out books, you're just gonna bug yourself out, man. You know what I mean? Getting into the book of Enoch, the book of Joshua, and all that. Leave it alone. Okay, you don't need anything else. All you need is the Holy Bible, right? The scriptures say that. Let's turn to it. What was it? None shall want.
It's Isaiah 34.
Isaiah 34.
Yeah, Isaiah 34 and 16.
Hey, the water for that. Isaiah 34. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good one. Right, Isaiah 34 and 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read, right? It doesn't say the book of Enoch. It doesn't say the book of Joshua. It doesn't say what was that bugged out guy talking about the Enochian book or something?
Yeah, Enochian workbook.
Workbook, yeah, the Enochian workbook. Bugged out, man. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh, meaning the Bible. That's all you need, man. It says, and read, and it says, no one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. See? So the book of the Lord, the books, the different prophets wrote different books. They that's all you need. None of them will fail. That's all you need. It says none shall want a mate. You don't need other books to validate that the Bible is real or anything like that, or to help the Bible. The Bible don't need no mate. All you need is the Bible, right? This is what it's saying. It says, "For my mouth it have commanded, and His Spirit it have gathered them." So the Lord's mouth is the prophets. We're out here teaching you, through the authority of the Lord, what the Lord requires of you, what you're supposed to do, not read many books, all these other bugged out books. For my mouth it have commanded it. It says His Spirit had gathered them. So if your spirit ain't right, you're gonna be gravitating toward bug outs that that are talking about, there ain't no place called hell. I mean, there is a place called hell, and that they're the son of the Most High, and that the mark of the beast is an embargo, and the list goes on. There's so many false doctrines, but the Spirit of the Lord will gather the elect into the truth, man.
And
That's how you,
yeah, and
huh?
just to add as well, that's how you know that this guy is a bug out, because apparently he's supposed to be, you know, the Most High, or whatever he's claiming, but
Yeah,
in his own book, it's telling him not to read other books, and then he's
yeah,
posting on there to go read other books. Like,
yeah, exactly.
guy's a freaking bug out, man.
That's a clear sign he's a bug out, because he's claiming to be the Most High, but yet his word, the Lord's word, Yahweh Shem Shai's word, says not to read other books. But this guy telling you to look into the Enochian fairy book
That's it.
through.
And that's why the scriptures are so powerful. You know what I mean? Like, because they'll easily shine that spotlight on these bug outs, man. Like
Yeah,
this idiot.
yeah. You
I
know,
mean,
and that's
smoking
what
the black and mild should have been the main thing that you would see. Like, he's saying that he's the most high and smoking the black and mild with dirty fingernails. I mean, you know,
boy.
it's
You
like, come
can't
on,
make this
man.
shit up.
If
It's
you can't
crazy.
catch it there, then you gotta, yeah. The scriptures will reveal it.
It's absolutely nuts. But it'll all come out in the end, though.
Hmm.
You know. Let's get into Boga Alazar now, man. Me I just wanted you guys to see this. I'm gonna get rid of that now. That's pretty much it. You know, that's what bugged him out. Going into all these books trying to be deep. He ended up going off the damn deep end. Right? I've got another all right. So if you can I'm gonna give you the screen, and if you could bring out something while I dig something up because I forgot to put it in this lesson.
Yeah. All right.
But actually, yeah, because we got Alazar, but I forgot to get that video and put it in the folder. Where is it?
Then on your WhatsApp.
Let me just bring this out quick. We might have to do it in a separate lesson now. So what we'll probably do is just focus on this guy, and maybe I'll go into Alazar in a separate lesson. I know you did a lesson on it.
Hmm.
Uh, Lord willing, I'll put the link to your video in the description so people can see, right? Because you did a good lesson on it. Right, this is Matthew 12 and 43. It says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, right? Because this man, Darash, smoking on that black and mild, apparently, I think he was a part of Great Millstone at one point, and then he got kicked out, if I'm not mistaken. So it says, when the spirit has gone out of a man, when you get kicked out of Great Millstone, that's a clear indication that the spirit's gone out of you because the Great Millstone is the Lord is dealing with Great Millstone, right? And they're the ones that the Lord is directly dealing with. So if you get uh, kicked out of Great Millstone, that's a clear sign that something is wrong there. That you need to fix that. You know what I mean? Whatever you did, whatever happened to cause that to happen, you need to look, self-examinate and find out what you did to piss the Lord off, because these men have the spirit of the Lord on them. So if it is a misunderstanding, you need to sort that out. Be humble, keep doing the work, and try to make it right with the men of the Lord, man. Don't If you're an enemy of the men of the Lord, that ain't a good sign, man. But most people, they get proud and then they start making their whole ministry about Great Millstone, right? That's a clear indication that a man is right, it ain't right, right? But this guy in particular, he's gone just all the way left. So it says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, I see, meaning a man comes into the truth, right? And he's made new. He's born again. He becomes a new man, right? It says he walketh through dry places seeking rest and findeth none. That's the unclean spirit. It goes through dry places seeking rest and findeth none. The next verse, Matthew 12 and 44, it says, then he saith, I will return into my house, the house being the body, the cleaned up person. The evil spirit will say that I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty and swept and garnished, because you're made clean. You're washed clean. You don't, you ain't the same person. That evil spirit tries to come back. It's like, what? This place is cleaned up. Nigga doing good. Right? It says, then goeth he and taketh with himself seven other spirits more wicked than himself. Seven meaning completion, right? So I ain't just talking about actual seven demons. No. Could be a legion, man. But he takes along a bunch of wicked demons, wickeder than himself, wicked spirits, right? More wicked than himself. And it says, and they enter in and dwell there. When a man ain't right and he returns to his vomit, that's what's gonna happen to you, man. And it says, and the last state of that man is worse than the first. See? So you become bugged out, man. You've been better off never coming into the truth. You wouldn't be as bugged out. It says, even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. And you're seeing it firsthand with that Darash guy, man. You know?
Yeah, I think it says the same thing in the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 24 on down. It says the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
the
precept to that.
unclean spirits.
Yeah, man. So, this is a cautionary tale. I kind of messed up the lesson because I didn't put the video up that I wanted about Alazar, but Lord willing, I'll get into that in a future lesson. But what I will show you is because I got a few things, a few receipts from what Alazar used to get up to. This is his Passover. Check this out, man. I'll play this real quick. Can you believe that he did this on a solemn assembly? Showing you that this man ain't right. Scripture said, by their fruits ye shall know them, remember? We brought that out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a man of the Lord has a Passover at a damn strip club? That was a clear sign that the man weren't right. Check this out, man. Yeah, so as you can see, we ain't making this up. That's what he called himself, High Chief Priest Alazar, which was all a facade. It was all for show. But now the man's saying he ain't even in the truth no more, man. You know? Lord willing, we'll get into that in another lesson. What this is him years ago, a couple years back, having a Passover at a damn strip club with a whole bunch of worldly people and half naked women, man.
Yeah, so I think that specific video there wasn't on the Passover. There was another one where it's in like a bar and there was bottle girls walking around. This is an actual strip club. I don't think this was the Passover, but I think it was after. Because if you
No, this was
remember,
after. This one
yeah,
was after
because
the Passover.
yeah, because I think if you remember, they had all the bottle girls and all that in the club, and then they got rebuked for it. And then he was saying that they all repented and X Y Z. But first they were proud, then said they repented, and then this was after that.
Oh, okay. Well, either
Like this
way.
specific clip, because I remember, because that was disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, damn, you're
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah,
the chief, the top guy of the Sakari branch. You know what I mean? Like the Sakari camp, and you out here in the strip clubs.
yeah, exactly. Talking
Like,
about
them
calling
them
yourself.
demons jumped on him from Atlanta. Them demons are
Yeah.
strong.
Man was calling himself a high chief priest,
Hmm.
giving himself such a high title, and then living like this, man. But, the evidence speaks for itself. But, I always thought, because I've had this video for years, and I always thought this was one of the clips from him in the strip club, but I guess I was wrong. But either way, look at the atmosphere he's in, man.
Hmm.
Being a friend of the world, it makes you an enemy of the Most High, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at this. Terrible. Look at that woman. She's damn near naked, man.
Mm.
But this is Chief's kind. Chief. What? Why am I saying Chief? This is Gorilla. Gorilla's spirit. That's what he. That's what he gravitates to because he's a man of the world, man. You know, let me
Yeah.
see if I can grab that preset.
I got a preset quickly while you're looking for that.
Yeah,
You want to share my screen?
1 second. Add you. There
Yeah,
you
so
go.
this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 32, verse 14. It says, "Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline." Obviously, Alazar didn't receive his discipline because and, as a man of the Lord, you ain't supposed to be in no places like that, right? So that discipline wasn't there. It says, "And they that seek him early shall find favor." Verse 15, it says, "He that seeketh the law shall be fulfilled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat." Verse 16, it says, "They that fear the Lord shall find judgment and shall kindle justice as a light." The point is in this verse 17. It says, "A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will." And that's what, like a lot of the stuff that Alizé, I mean Alazar, Salakia, Alazar, the chief gorilla, right? He was doing a lot of things that was according to his will.
Yeah,
Like he wanted to teach with his hat on. He found the perfect excuse to teach with his hat on. He wanted
yep,
to go to some strip clubs, and he's talking about, I'm going there to reach the people. Our people are in these areas. I'm going. No, you wanted to go to the strip club, my man.
mm,
You wanted to go to
yeah,
strip club. Just say it.
yeah,
Now the the individual's no longer in the truth. Like you should have
yeah.
just said it, man. Like we could see right through you.
He came straight out and confessed and said that he's not part of the truth anymore, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it is
Look at
what
all
it
the other
is. You know?
controversies that he got into. Do you know what I mean? Like you mentioned briefly earlier. You know, it's a damn sexual deviant.
Yeah, yeah, man.
That's what
Caught
you're
in
into.
man got caught out there being a damn faggot, man. Right? Because the Lord exposed him. He weren't right because he's out here trying to claim to be a man of the Lord, but yet doing all these dirty things behind the scenes. And the Lord exposed him. Now he's no longer in the truth because that's what happens when you're not sincere. You know, the scriptures say, what's that script? If you could pull it up for me while I bring this one out, that every tree that my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up. In the book, I believe it's in Matthew somewhere. Um, and I'm going to quickly bring out this while you're grabbing that. And this is the
Yeah, I got
book
it.
of James, chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, "Ye adulteresses, no, adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship with the world is enmity with the Most High?" What does this word enmity mean? Let's go into it. Let's see what Google says. It says enmity. It says a state of feeling or of a state or feeling of active opposition or hostility. See? Opposition, hostility, friction, contention, discord, conflict, rivalry. That's a good one. Bitterness, resentment, opposition is a good one too. So you're in opposition with the Lord when you're a friend of this world, man. So I'm gonna read it again from the top, James 4 and 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, like you aquaf too, or you women too. It says, "Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity, opposition, rivalry with the Most High?" It says, "Whoso therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High." And Alazar was clearly an enemy of the Most High. And even to this day, he's so proud that he can't see it himself, man. He actually thinks the Lord is dealing with him, even though he's denounced being a part of the Hebrew Israelite community, he says, right? Which it ain't exactly a community the way that he's making it sound, man. It's really just followers of the Lord. That's what it's all about. Being a Hebrew Israelite is a nationality, and Alazar does admit that, yeah, he will always be a Hebrew Israelite because he's wise enough to understand that being a Hebrew Israelite is not necessarily a religion. It's a it's a nationality, it's an identity, it's like our race. You know, when people call us black, African American, Mexican, whatever, no, we're Hebrew Israelites. So we will always be Hebrew Israelites because we were born Hebrew Israelites, right? But he said he don't want to be a part of the community anymore because he kept getting rebuked and he couldn't take the pressure, man. Well, quit doing nigger shit that gets you rebuked, and then you won't have a hard time, as hard of a time in this truth, man. This man up here kicking against the pricks, basically, man. And he kept getting stoned and rebuked for it. And he couldn't take the pressure, so now he's dropped out. He took his hand off the plow, right? Because he's in this club trying to be friend of the world. This nigga loves the fame and the popularity and all that. And then ended up taking his damn, the Lord rejected him. Now he's taking his hand off the plow because he can't take the pressure, man. It says here, Luke 9:62, it says, and Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. And that's what Alazar did, man. He put his hand to the plow, went out there diligently on the streets, cutting the hell out of Christians and all that. The man has a lot of intelligence. I'll give credit where it's due. He had the potential to be a good leader and a good teacher, but his spirit weren't right, and in the end, ultimately, he got rejected by the Lord because he couldn't take correction. The man was puffed up, proud, and just all out wicked. Okay. He was just leading. He's got a lot of blood on his hand. He led many people astray because he tried to mix that worldly shit, that nigger shit, that Babylonian shit in with the truth, man. And it don't mix, because you're giving people a false perception as to what this is about, man. And you're leading them astray because you got them thinking that they can be rappers, they can teach with their fitted caps on and have this worldly image and lifestyle, talking about you can be a gangbanger and a teacher of the law. No, man, you can't do that, man. But this is the vibration that he put out there, man. So it says, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom most high. And he weren't fit. That's why ultimately he got rejected. So yeah, I'll let you bring out what you got there,
Yeah.
and then close
So,
out.
so this is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 10. And it reads, and he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth is this defileth a man. Then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended? And after they heard this saying, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up.
That's it.
Right? Just
You
to
know.
finish off that verse, it says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Right? So
Yeah.
there you go. Follow a false leader, you're gonna end up in that ditch with them.
Yeah. You know. So if the Lord didn't set you up, didn't plant you, you're eventually gonna get uprooted, man. You're gonna serve your purpose and lead a few people astray, and
That's
then
right.
uh, and then eventually you're gonna be out of there, man. Just looking for a quick preset. One sec. Uh, yeah, I've got it. Right. Let me get my screen up real quick. Might make this the last preset. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll remove you there. I'll add me, and then I want to bring out this. It's the Book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse. See if there's any more meat on that. Nah, that's it. Right. So this is the Book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 38. It says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. Right. Now, this is talking about, you can equate this to false prophets of our times that are leading our people astray, man. When the scriptures say, "Mark them that cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which we have learned, and avoid them," meaning let them alone, man, because these people are gonna lead you astray. They're the blind leading the blind, right? So they're blind leaders leading the sheep that are seeking vision, seeking the truth, right? And they're all gonna fall into a ditch because it's gonna be your fault for being led by it. Ain't necessarily the false prophets' fault. It's your fault for following them. Because every man has to take account of his own salvation, man. You have to guard your own. You have to guard yourself from these deceivers, man. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man, with the seriousness, right? So it says, Acts 5 and 38, "And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught." And that's exactly what's happened with, these pretty much everybody that has come up against Great Millstone, man, because they don't recognize that these are the spiritual leaders of Israel. These are the leaders of Israel, the true judges. Okay, and I'm not saying that in a sense that everybody in Great Millstone is a true judge, because you do have. I'm pretty sure it'll come to light that, because it always seems to happen in certain moments. You find people that ain't right and they get sifted, but what we're saying is that the Lord has particular men that have the 100% truth, and that is the ones that follow the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Now, you do have men among them that will eventually get sifted because they'll get exposed as not being right. That happens every once in a while, but it doesn't mean that Great Millstone isn't right just because that happens in small quantities here and there, man. Okay, so if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. You come in bucking up against Great Millstone, the ones that have the 100% truth. That's a dangerous place to be, man. You're walking a dangerous path there, and you need to really, really self-examine, because pride can sneak upon you, man. You could be out there doing the work of the Lord and not know that you're being proud. You're rejecting correction, and always got something to say in your defense, when the Lord's men, people that have the spirit of the Lord on them, are rebuking you for this and that, whatever it may be, whatever the case may be. You got to address that, man, right? Before it becomes too much, and then then your ministry comes to naught, man. So that's it. I'll leave it there, I think. Oh yeah, yeah. One more. Actually, there's more meat on there. Let me quickly go to verse 39. Acts 5 and 39. It says, "But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against the Lord." And that's what Alazar is doing. When he was trying to come against Great Millstone, and saying Apostle Tahar is too old to be a leader, something along them lines, he said, right? That's wickedness, man. Hey, watch your tongue, otherwise, you trying to overthrow the men of the Lord that the Lord set up. You're fighting against the Lord, basically, man, because the Lord has certain men that he's dealing with that are leading us the correct way to salvation, man. So when you say double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, you gotta mean that shit. It says, "But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it." So, if the Lord's Spirit is genuinely upon you, ain't nothing gonna be able to take the elect out of the Lord's hand, man. Not one grain will fall upon the earth, the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, right? Let's happily be found to fight against the Lord, right? So I think that's it on that. Do you have anything you want to close out with?
Yeah, actually, it's just one last
Yeah,
scripture.
let me add you.
Yeah, so this is from the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. I'll start at verse 3. It says, "For froward thoughts separate from the Most High, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise.
That's it.
Verse 4 says, For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin.
That's
So
it, man.
you going off, man. You know, the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. That wisdom is
Mm.
gone.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, you see a lot of these bug outs now that you know, you can see the spirit's gone from them. Like
Yeah.
these were people that were on fire at one point, and now look at them; they're completely gone.
Yeah,
You know,
because you had Pegasus, Pegatron. He was getting pegged behind the scenes. You know, he was he had a body that was subject to sin. You know, he couldn't let go of his wickedness. So wisdom didn't. It says wisdom shall not enter. It says nor dwell in a body that's subject to sin. So if you had wisdom, you best believe the Lord will strip that light from you, man. If you're out here being Pegasus behind the scenes and not repenting, because had he repented, he wouldn't have got exposed. He wouldn't have got caught up in all that. You know, if he truly repented, the Lord would have forgave him, and all of this wouldn't have came out. So this is why you out here being a dirt dog, old dirt dog behind the scene, being a damn sodomite.
power
Then
bottom.
this what you can expect, man. So yeah, man, good precept. All right. So I think that's it for this lesson. Then we'll close it out here. Unless you got anything else you want to say.
Nah.
Yeah. Like I said,
Hey, let
Lord
the
willing,
Lord's
I'll do
will be
a
done, man. Let the Lord's will be done.
yeah, can. Like I said, Lord willing, because I kind of messed this lesson up with them clips that I wanted to bring out. But Lord willing, I'll do a little lesson on that in the future, sometime in the near future while the iron's hot. Hey, Shalom, GMS in his
Hey,
likeness.
shalom, out.
Shalom, bro. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yeah, how about Shem Yahshai Rakatham?
Faithful brother. Subscribe to this brother's channel, man. You will not be disappointed. Okay. All right. We're just about to close out now, anyway. Yeah, Thawada. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah to you. All right. We're going to close it out here then. We're going to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh,
Yahweh, Bahashem,
Bahashem, Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Bahasham,
Bahashem, Racha,
Raka,
Kodash.
Dash. All right. Shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom,
shalom.
Yasha Allah, man. Shalom. Shalom, GMS in his likeness, bro.
Yeah.
God willing, I'll tune into your live stream soon, bro, when I get a minute. Shalom, shalom.